What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Migrant workers in Taiwan took to the streets on Sunday, demanding better work conditions and a change in employment restrictions. Under current laws, foreign workers are not allowed to switch jobs at will. TaiwanPlus reporter Bing Wong has more.
For 40-year-old Putu, praying at the mosque is not only a show of religious devotion, but an escape from his daily life.
Dan dijanjikan tempat tinggal itu yang bagus, ada AC-nya, tempat tinggal yang layak. Ternyata saya tidurnya itu hanya di alas koran, di alas karton.
Putu is one of 700,000 migrant workers living in Taiwan, 90% of whom come from Southeast Asia. Many of them work under difficult and dangerous conditions, but changing employers is not an easy option.
Saat ini mereka itu tidak bisa pemerintah membuat kebijakan, tidak bisa pindah lintas sektor.
On Sunday, over 400 workers rallied in Taipei to fight for the right to freely choose their jobs and to demand better working conditions. Most of the migrants here do manual labor in sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, forestry, or fisheries. Some jobs paying more than others.
Over 200,000 migrant workers in Taiwan work as caretakers, and they make $17,000 per month. That's $620 US, less than 50% of the minimum wage.
In September, Taiwan's Ministry of Labor amended laws for migrant workers looking to switch jobs. Now they must get their employer's endorsement, then register through a government-run employment service. Only if the service fails to find them a job in their line of work can they transfer to better-paying sectors.
为了维持整个就是我们劳雇关系的稳定性，然后也同时去照顾我们一些失能弱势家庭的一些照顾能量，所以当时候我们有这样子的一个法规存在，基本上它势必还是会影响到我们相关的就是我们的劳雇关系的稳定性。
But Anita, a migrant worker from the Philippines, believes emphasizing stability doesn't consider the needs of the employee.
The treatment between the employer and the worker is not proper and not balanced. So we're here today so that they know that we workers are suffering too much because the favor of the law is within the employer only.
Migrants like Putu and Anita are essential to Taiwan's workforce, and they hope to finally break through the bureaucracy and have their concerns heard by the Taiwanese government. James Raynor and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
As people here in Taiwan prepare for the Lunar New Year, city governments are making their own preparations to combat the spread of COVID-19. Markets like Dihua Shopping Street in Taipei are ramping up prevention measures, putting shoppers' minds at ease while they take advantage of this year's best bargains. Jaime Yokon has this story.
More than 70% of the population is fully vaccinated, and Taiwan remains vigilant in the battle against COVID-19, especially with the Lunar New Year holidays just around the corner. Authorities are stepping up prevention measures such as contact tracing and disinfection of public areas, and more than 2 years into the global pandemic, people are learning to live with the restrictions.
3个口罩啊，你看我这里1个、2个、3个，里面我还有1个，这里面这比较贴的啊，这个外面这个等一下上车把这2个就丢了，物品自己防疫的就买啊，如果说你去寄来的，一般不一定能够适合我们。
One of the biggest effects of lockdowns and restrictions has been the growth of online shopping. But as the festive season approaches, many customers still prefer the hands-on approach.
现场这边看比较有感觉。怎么说？对，就是可以挑选这样不一样的东西。对，我们就是有看到酒精都会喷一下，请他们口罩要戴好。
With Lunar New Year less than 2 weeks away, and families arriving from abroad for the festivities, authorities are keeping measures in place, like restricting gathering sizes and implementing outdoor mask rules. Taiwan hopes it can keep the spread of the virus under control while keeping all of the spirit of the holiday. Rick E. and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
It's a word that few people had heard of until recently. the Metaverse. It refers to an immersive, all-encompassing online world where people can gather virtually for a range of activities. It's been championed by tech giants like Facebook's parent company, Meta, and it looks set to drive the future development of technology. Now Taiwan has its first institute dedicated to teaching and researching this emerging field. Our partners at Radio Taiwan International bring you this story.
National Taipei University of Technology has founded Taiwan's first R&D center for the Metaverse and extended reality. The opening ceremony took place on Friday with government and industry representatives in attendance. The center is the brainchild of the head of NTUT's Department of Interactive Design, Cao Xiaoyue, who worked with other specialists in the field. In addition to bringing together the university's information engineering and design experts, it will also join up with companies such as Meta, BenQ, Yahoo, Moonshine Animation, and Speed 3D Incorporated. Together, the center and these companies will develop ideas for university courses and cooperative projects between academia and industry. Professor Cao says the center will focus on creative virtual content in the areas of education, gaming, and productivity. She says that on top of nurturing talent, the center will work with both local and national governments and research the application of new technologies in areas such as medicine. The center will provide motion capture, virtual reality and augmented reality, virtual manufacturing and 3D building software, as well as software for applications like electronic music. It plans to continue its cooperation with organizations such as the Matsu National Scenic Area Administration, with which it is developing smart tourism applications, as well as the Taiwan Creative Content Agency. The university hopes it will become a starting point for the development of the metaverse sector in Taiwan.
The world's top tennis player, Novak Djokovic, is on his way home after an Australian court upheld a decision to revoke his visa. The ruling closes the book on an 11-day saga that has seen back-and-forth decisions on the Serbian player's fight to regain his title at the Australian Open Grand Slam event. James Chater reports.
Roaring into the quiet Australian night, this plane's departure is bringing an end to a raucous 11-day controversy. A few hours before,
good evening. First tonight, Novak Djokovic's fate has finally been decided. The world number one has been booted out of Australia.
A federal court on Sunday upheld the Australian government's decision to cancel Novak Djokovic's visa, firmly shutting the door on his hopes to defend his Australian Open crown and win a record 21st Grand Slam title. Djokovic's journey to Australia had sparked widespread controversy about the equal application of COVID regulations. The Serbian applied to enter the country without being vaccinated on a medical exemption, leading politicians, the public, and fellow players to all weigh in. But in the final ruling on Sunday, the court said Djokovic's presence in the country could foment anti-vaccination sentiment. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison welcomed the ruling, saying it would keep Australians safe. In his own statement, Djokovic said he was extremely disappointed but would respect the court's decision. On the ground, however, a mixed response.
And there's been too many instances of people being locked out of their own state and because of the COVID restrictions, and I don't think it's fair that he'd be allowed to come in, to be honest. So I think it's the right decision.
When he came here to play tennis, and he had an exemption to come here and play tennis, he was allowed to come here. And that's what you should be doing. It's a political stuff. This is just so political.
Back in Serbia, buildings were lit up in support of the tennis star.
Mislim da je skandalozna odluka, razočarana sam. Mislim da je pokazala kako u nekim drugim zemljama funkcioniše vladavina prava, odnosno kako ne funkcioniše vladavina prava. Neverovatno mi je da...
And members of the Serbian public were equally disappointed.
Pa mislim da se Australija obrukala i da je nepravedno donešena odluka. Žao mi je Novaka i kao tenisera i kao čovjeka i eto, to je to, ne šta drugo kažem.
Djokovic too will have nothing more to say for now. After a trip down under, he'd rather soon forget. Karma Shu and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Erika Liu. Finally today, we leave you with footage of a cute koala Joey. The baby koala's mother, Grace, died recently following an illness. Zookeepers removed the Joey from his mother's pouch and began to feed him by hand. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. See you next time. Take care.